it's that feeling you feel when you're too vulnerable with the wrong person and you're just like, okay, I can go through this. I could sit with you on the couch, right? If we're not filming a podcast, right? And I would tell you all of it as in depth, and I wouldn't feel bad about it. But now you have someone who's your best friend, was your best friend, your everything, and it's immediately like an enemy, and you just are wrestling with that, and you're just like, how is my life at this point, at this place?
Dry Diaries with your author, Alex Dry. Hey guys, what's up? It's your author, Alex Dry, and I am back with another episode of the Dry Diaries. Today I have one of my really good friends, one of the most genuine humans. I mean, there's so many things I could say, but Joey Sasso. First and foremost, he has been just such a good friend to me, but then also he was on a bunch of reality shows like The Circle and Perfect Match.
When I hear these intros, I'm always like, it's like when you get in it, like an award and like someone like, it's like, I love you, what we have been through. And I'm like, oh, thank you.
You're like,
that's
wow,
so sweet.
You don't tell me this on a normal basis.
No, but it's funny though, because for everyone watching, we've been talking before we start recording. And whenever you do these situations, I always think it's funny the switch we have to make when we're close like this. But it is funny. On the way over, I was, thinking about how long I've known you, and I love you to death, but you've known me since we met right at the tail beginning of when my first show came out. I believe, right? It was about 5-6 years ago at this point.
Yeah, it has been that long.
Do you remember how we first met? This is a funny story. Do you remember? You don't remember this?
I don't.
Do you remember that I was in love with you for 24 hours?
No.
Oh, Alex Dry. We met, and I was like, it was that immediate thing. I was like, who are you?
Wait.
You don't remember this at all?
No.
That's how. So I believe we met through Andre.
Okay.
Because Andre was doing Instagram photos for me. He had met my manager. He was my content guy. And it was that thing of like, hey, dude, we should hang out. And we did. And we went to old friends of yours' apartment that you were at.
Okay. Yes.
That's where I met you. And I was like, who are you? And then we started talking. And it was that I remember, because I never pursue anyone. That's like out of character for me. I guess
I don't remember it because you weren't very...
No,
pushy,
it was more so like, I want to know you.
Yeah.
Like, I really want to know you, but I want you to know I am interested in you.
Well, you didn't make it that clear.
And then I think from there, it became that thing of like, we knew all the same people and we just got very close. And I could say you are one of the dopest fucking humans I have ever met from being in LA. And I love the fact that, when we were texting, catching up, we were talking about it had been 2 years maybe since we've talked, since we've seen each other.
Yeah.
It don't matter how much time passes. Nothing changed. You pick up right where you left off and you're doing great. Got out of LA.
I know.
Which is good. I did that. Now I'm back. But yeah, I'm happy to be doing this. And I'm excited to see what you throw at me today.
I know. It's going to be crazy. Yeah. We're going to get deep.
We're going to get deep?
We're
going to have like a Dr. Phil moment. Might start crying. I'll bawl my fucking eyes out right here, Alex.
No, I just like with my podcast, it's basically just my friends and I having conversations. So it's just as if we were catching up normally.
Love that.
So really nothing is off limits and nothing's really filtered unless you put the hard stop on it.
I don't think I'll do that. So let's go.
So to start off, how are you doing? Because I know we briefly talked about it.
Yeah.
And
I'm actually no bullshit. I'm doing really well right now. Last year, 2024 was simultaneously the best year of my life and career. And equally the worst year of my life and career, where it was to the point I go to my closest friends who know everything about me. And I hate people who have victim mentality with everything. But I had to be like, dude, I'm not trying to be that guy, but I know you'll be real with me and lay out everything that's happening. Is it as bad as I think it, like how it feels? And they're like, it's worse. Like,
Yeah.
you get to that point
As
of
far as relationship or just you mentally?
everything,
Everything.
life overall. It's that thing of like, okay, I like to look for a silver lining with everything because I'm very aware of how I'm programmed. If I don't do that, I will let the darkness in me take over. And once that, like, you don't get out of that. So I'd be like, okay, this is all sucked. At this point, nothing else can go wrong. Like, surely nothing else. Like, I've been hit more than I've ever been hit. And then somehow, some way, everything still falls apart. And then you just hit that point where you're like, fuck, I don't even know how to handle this. I'm not equipped for it. And in retrospect, I'm so fucking happy to be able to sit here and talk to you about this right now, because last year was, above all those things I was talking about, the only time since I've gotten sober, which, you know, you've known me since that started, where I truly was like, oh my God, I don't know if I'm going to be okay anymore. And I've never felt that. Like, when I got sober, I am an all-out drug addict, alcoholic. It's all or nothing, not just with drugs and alcohol.
It's your life.
That's
why we get along, because we're either all in or all out. And I think that's why we didn't talk for like the 2-year time period, because I knew that, like, one, you were in a relationship. And then I know that, I don't know, I feel the energy, the vibes, and you just kind of were like tucked away. And so at certain points, like, I did want to reach out, but also I love to respect people's relationships, and I don't want to overstep sometimes.
I get that.
You know what I mean?
I mean, I tell all my friends that, where sometimes friends get upset when someone gets in a relationship and they're like, oh, they dipped out and they're different now, where my thing is like, no. I mean, if you feel like that, that means that relationship you had with them was never what you thought it was. Because look, it's normal for someone to get with someone and like really be with someone and be wrapped up in that world and trying to figure that out. And I think I've heard from people, friends and family, who have said similar to what you have said, because it's that thing that's funny when you're with someone and you ask your people, what do you think about your person? And, oh, the best. And then it ends and it's like, oh, shit, the fucking suck. And you hear all this shit. But it was super interesting, because my family had told me I wasn't myself when I was with the person I was with. And I was glued to their hips, very standoffish. And I know what that is like in theory with someone, but I could say from being in it, it wasn't a situation where I was like, oh, I need to make them happy. They're super insecure. It was that thing of, no, I'm the happiest I've ever been. That's my best fucking friend. I've never had this. Like, I didn't know I could get to a place with someone that I got to with my ex. And that's why that's like the silver lining thing of like what I take from that experience far outweighs any of the negative. But yeah, last year it just became a thing of like, okay, when I first got sober, I was right before, when I say 24 to 48 hours, like that close from committing suicide. I was done with life. I was at the lowest I had ever been. I had hurt someone who meant the world to me in ways I never had. I was a drug addict, alcoholic for years. I lied about everything. Some drug addicts, alcoholics, you see them and you're like, oh, they're fucked. I was the guy who no one knew because I was so good at keeping it all secret. I wasn't out being like, yo, Alex Dry, you want a line? I'm the guy who's like, I'll look at you doing a line and be like, you're a fucking loser. Get that shit out of my face. Fucking junk. I got an 8-ball in my pocket and no one would ever know. So when I had first gotten sober, I really seen that sliver of light in that tunnel. And I was like, I need to grab that and really commit myself to this, because if I don't, I can never right the wrongs of my life and I'm going to die. And regardless of where I was at mentally, at that time, the thing that's always pulled me back in those moments is knowing my mother and father, my sisters, nieces and nephews now, cousins.
Yeah.
I would irreversibly fuck them so hard, and they would never. I got the best family in the entire world. So it was a process at first, and then I really just felt good. Like for the first time in so long, because it was like, oh my God, I don't have to hide all of these things about myself. I don't have to be embarrassed or ashamed. And then when everything happened last year, I can only describe it as that event we all have in life that whenever you think about it, you get that pit in your stomach, you're transported back. And I was like, for the first time, and at that point, almost 4 years, I'm scared because of knowing myself and knowing
what you're capable of.
Well, yeah, I mean, when people talk to me about being sober or just trying to better your life, the thing I don't like is when people try to categorize it as, well, that was then. Like, that's not you. And it's like, no, I'm going to be honest. I got the scumbag devil that's in me. And all that guy's never going away.
Yeah.
But I keep it at bay from saying that and acknowledging it. But when you're really going through it, that's where shit can start playing with you. And when I'd gotten home this year for the holidays, my family, my sisters, cousins, all sat me down over separate periods individually because they thought I was using again. Because they were like, be real. Like, what's...
Yeah, your family's really blunt because all Italians, right?
Yes. And it all came down to the fact that no one had heard from me really in like that whole year that I was here in LA, because I had the movie come out, which, as you know, 12 years of my life.
Yeah.
Since day one of getting to LA, always known I wanted to be a filmmaker since I've been a child. It's who I am. Like to my core, no one's going to give me that. And it's been a 12-year process at that point. I've had to defy every odd to do something that I should have never been able to pull off. And now getting ready for release, of course, everything falls apart, all the contracts, all the deals, and I have to carry the load while simultaneously in my personal life completely falling apart. And I like to always be a person who's very punctual. I get back to my people. Still to this day, right now, if you open my phone, I think I'm at 850 unread texts, because it's like it's
overload.
I can't keep up. So when I was going through it, you get to that point of like, okay, I can't do that, but I'm knowingly falling into hermit self-isolation mode for protection.
Yeah.
And I had to look at all my family and be like, I swear to you, I will piss in a cup right now.
Yeah.
If I was using, I'm not lying about it at this point in my life. I am mentally fucked right now from everything that's happened. I'm aware of that, and I'm trying to get back to where I was. But as of recent, it's really interesting when you go through a period like that. Because for me, going home, being with my family is such a reset.
Yeah.
And you come back here and you feel like you now have distance to look at things differently. I've never gone through a period of time like that where, it was hard, but I'm still trying to see the lasting effects that have kind of changed me in a way that I need to figure out. And that's sort of where I'm at right now.
What do you think were all the aspects of it? Obviously, there's a relationship. So for everyone that doesn't know, you were engaged.
Yes.
And then you guys broke it off.
Yes.
And then you had a movie. You've been working on that for forever. Ever since I met you, I knew that you wanted to be a producer.
Yeah, 12 years.
Yeah, forever. So the movie was coming out, and then what other aspects do you feel like? I mean, the movie alone, this is another thing that I just feel like in general for myself and the close ones around me is like whenever you've been working on something so hard and it's really your purpose, the devil's always going to try to come in and cause chaos around you because he doesn't want you to get to that level. He's trying to stop you from your blessing because he knows the effect that it's going to have on people.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm such a believer in that because I've seen it happen time and time again.
Yeah, and that's why I was just on the way over talking to a buddy of mine about craft, no matter what your craft is. And I was saying, I always look at it as I don't game plan for it's all going to work. Yeah. Like, I know it's all going to work, but it's like, no. I game plan with every single thing is going to go wrong, because that's also production. That's being on set and having to make your day. And, like you said, 12 years of my life, the stages I've went through to get that made. I mean, years of people reading various drafts saying, you're fucked from page one. You can't do this. It's going to ruin your career. You can't say that. And I'm like, looking at established executives who I respect, but I know I'm smarter than them film-wise. Like, that is the only avenue in my life that I know very few can match me, because I've been studying this entire industry since I've been a child. It's all I have. I don't have, like, I was home talking to my family and I realized, I'm like, I don't have hobbies. Like, I don't have things that are like separate from the arts, from the industry. So, so many years of saying, I'm going to bet on myself. I'm going to pull off the impossible. Film was budgeted $3 to $10 million. Should have never have been able to make it. Josh and I, my partner, who I wrote it with, who directed it, made it for $13,000 cash.
Oh my gosh.
That's the only reason I went on The Circle. Was I got back to LA from production at that point. My longest relationship at that point had ended, and it's that cliche of I walk in the apartment, she's gone, everything's gone. And that's when I was actively using, and no one really,
Did she knew?
Yeah, I think she knew when we were still together, but I don't think to the extent, and I was a liar. I was just a fucking liar. Like, how dare you say I would do that or this or that, because I would never wanted.
Gaslighting.
Yep. Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Like, I look back at me being younger, and I don't excuse anything. I just look at it as it's really unfortunate that for someone who has always been very mature, which I have been, I was so ill-equipped when it came to a relationship. But, my ex and I, we moved out here at 18 years old. And we were like,
babies.
We're doing it. Yeah. Like, as we had to grow up real quick. I'm simultaneously trying to be a husband while getting my career off the ground, when I don't know a single person in the industry. You have to have a survival job. Like, it was
a lot.
It's a lot. And that's why my last relationship with my ex-fiance was the only time in my life still that I'm like, I did that right. Like, I absolutely made mistakes, so many mistakes, but from the start, I was 100% open about where I'm at, what I want, what I don't want, didn't rush anything. And she's the only person I've ever been with that allowed me to see that you can absolutely share 1,000% of yourself.
Yeah, you have to.
Nothing held back. I've never had that before. Yeah. Ever. It's that thing of like, no. We're the most gift of gab people. Yeah. So when you're like that and others aren't, they think they know everything about you. But we know they don't know shit. Yeah. Because we keep more inside.
Yeah.
So I really learned so much about myself and was so happy. But at the same point, I look back and see the things. I'm always picking myself apart. What could I have done better? And when you're at that point now of like, let's go back to, I come back to LA. My ex at that point's gone. I work at the oldest gay bar in LA. My boy Raph comes in one night and he's like, I'm casting this thing. I want you to come in. You're perfect. And I'm at this point severely depressed, drug addict, probably hungover.
How you got casted for The Circle?
Yeah. And I remember it was salsa night and I'm cutting limes before everyone comes. I remember it vividly. And I just looked up at him and I'm like, I don't do reality. And he's like, you're perfect and you don't ever want to burn a bridge. So you're like, yeah, I'll go to the fucking audition. How many auditions do I go on? Nothing's going to happen with this. Years of studying how to walk into a room and be an actor with material. Don't be professional. Don't say hi to Alex Stride. Don't have a personality. To just sit in the chair and be like, Joey, talk about this. Like, that's it.
Yeah.
Like, everything with that process was the easiest I've ever dealt with. And it was that thing of like, I don't want this, but now they want me. Why is it that thing the thing you don't want?
You.
Yeah. And look, I was an idiot, changed my life, made me really open my horizons to getting out of my own way. So that's sort of set off what the last 5 or 6 years have been. And I'm so blessed for that. But taking it back to where everything was last year, all of that's going on. I'm literally bankrupt. Like I don't have enough money to get a fucking cheeseburger. I've put in everything into my career, into my film. The company we signed with for distribution, that of course you can look at the emails of why you signed with them because of everything they even put in the contract that they are going to do. I could sue them, but I don't have the money
to sue them.
Of course. Yeah. And with everything happening, it's that feeling you feel when you're too vulnerable with the wrong person and you're just like, okay, I can go through this. I could sit with you on the couch, right? If we're not filming a podcast, right? And I would tell you all of it as in depth, and I wouldn't feel bad about it. But now you have someone who's your best friend, was your best friend, your everything, and it's immediately like an enemy. And you just are wrestling with that. And you're just like, how is my life at this point, at this place? And it really does, because I suffer from PTSD from even before that, right? Years of therapy, of trying to learn about that, how to overcome that. And now you have a different form of PTSD being triggered in you from something that hurts you so deeply. And I didn't know that at the time. I just felt so I was so numb. Yeah. Like I was so numb to where you're like, I don't even realize that I'm here with you right now until someone snaps me out of it. But I always do have to try to find good in it. And it's like, yeah, dude, it was that bad, but I'm still fucking here. Yeah. And I know what I went through and I know I'll be okay. It's just like, damn, that thing of you never think shit's going to go the way that it goes sometimes. Yeah. You know?
And it's so crazy because, I mean, people see you on social media or see you on the show, and obviously they see this person that's very charismatic, outgoing, you know, all those things. And then it just goes to show that what you see is not like everyone's dealing with some shit.
Yeah. You know? It's very weird with the world we live in, especially when it comes to social, because while I said the circle is the best thing that's ever happened to me, which it was, if I could say any negative, it's that after that, people from my perspective put me in such a box of being such a great guy, and it's like, I love that because it makes me feel. You could
definitely have the other opposite end of most guys being like fuck boys and all that stuff.
But when I know myself, I know my life, I know it's that thing of someone who structures their PR of their brand to be so likable, so perfect, to where we all look at it and we're like, is he a fucking secret serial killer or some shit? Like
imposter syndrome.
Yeah. It's just like, okay, at a certain point, you're setting yourself up for failure because everyone's looking to see the cracks. My thing is, I don't hide. I'll fucking tell you all the crap. Like, no. Yeah. Don't say I'm all of these, because I go through so much shit, but I think that's normal.
Yeah, it is.
And I think that because of people knowing me as always happy, smiling, which is all real. That's never a thing. They only look at it as that one note where I'm like, nah, dog, we're people. We have a lot more. And I remember my ex-girlfriend had said, essentially, you say all of this positive shit. Okay, if you're going to fucking be out, then be fucking real about what you're going through. And I was like, yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah. And I did that, thinking it's structured as like, oh no, this is what I went through last year, but I'm good. But then everyone reached out like, oh my God, are you okay? And I'm like, I must not have like
conveyed it
correctly.
Aren't you a Sagittarius?
I am.
Yeah, me too.
I'm now a believer in zodiac signs, by the way.
Really?
I never was. I thought it was bullshit.
What changed your...
When I went through everything last year with my ex-fiance, with life, I always thought, and there's a part of me still thinks it, I hate when I meet a girl. My biggest pet peeve.
What's your sign?
What's your sign? Of course you don't believe. You're a fucking Sagittarius. And I'm like, look it. Do you look up any signs and it's like, you're a piece of shit who has attachment issues? No, it's all good shit. And everyone, and I just think it's one of those universal things that people want to hear good things about themselves. Then last year, when I'm going through everything, you're going through that rabbit hole, 5 o'clock in the morning of searching for answers with yourself. And I stumble into the astrology shit. And I really start researching for the first time, which I try not to get into new things because of my obsessive compulsive disorder of like, I will obsess.
That's me in conspiracy theories.
What's your favorite conspiracy theory?
Oh my
Alex
gosh,
Stry?
I have so many.
I have many as well. What's behind the ice wall in Antarctica, Alex Stry?
I think it's a new dimension.
Did you hear the one about the guy flew the plane over the ice wall and saw the creatures that I forget what they're called? Yeah, I can go on about conspiracy theories all day. Again, YouTube shorts, 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, all night. But yeah, the astrology shit is fucking real. Like it's insane. When I'm going through all of that and I'm researching all of my shit on different apps, sites, and it's
so real.
It's so
Sagittarius men don't have the best rap though. So
which
that's probably why
is
people
why
are little...
though, because I've heard that, but I don't research my sign as much as I try to learn the others.
That's how. Well, no, I research more my sign
Do
than
you?
others. I think so, but I do know like Sagittarius men are like known as cheaters.
Okay.
But they are very driven and usually very successful in anything that they do, and that's really all I know.
I could say when I was younger, to answer that directly, I was absolutely a cheater. When I was in my long relationship, and it's the only time in my life I've cheated on someone, again, lied about it, because my idol, besides the people career-wise to look up to, is my father, right? So when I moved here, I was with my ex, I just wanted to be my dad. And I wanted to have that relationship my parents had.
That's so cool to have
that
relationship to look up to.
But at a certain point, you realize, okay, I'm literally playing a part. And all of those things are who I am, but I'm not filtering them out as who I am, right? Yeah. So that's the place I go back to of like, oh, I'll never get to that place again. And I'm happy I haven't. Dude, I know there are people out there who know this feeling. You're in a hole. You're so unhappy with someone, but you love them so much.
Oh, yeah.
But
in a relationship-wise,
get out of the hole. And everything in your life is bad. I'm also one of the most sexual people. Like, I am wired that way. Always have been. And at a certain point, you're looking for outlets to try to feel anything good when everything isn't good, because I didn't want to hurt the person I was with, and I didn't know how to get out of it. I look back at that, makes me sick to my stomach, the ways I acted. I'm not the guy who goes, I was on drugs. I was, but it was like, no, I knew, you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And
this is a relationship you moved out to LA with.
Yes.
Not the last one, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And since then, I can honestly say I've never cheated on anyone, but also you and I have talked about this. When it comes to a relationship, I'm weird in the sense that I think people would look at me on the surface level of things they see me as and be like, oh, he's the fuck boy. It's the polar opposite. I've only been in 3 actual relationships in my life. It takes me an insanely long time to get to the point of saying to someone, I want to be with you. Because when I do that, I'm not like the guy, like, it's so fucking weird to me how people jump for, oh, this is my girlfriend, this is my boy. Every time you see them, they have a new boyfriend or girlfriend. Right. I'm like, how do you fucking do that? Because when I commit, it's like, no, to get to that point, you're my person.
Yeah.
End game.
We're getting married.
This is it. I will go through hell and high water with you, for you. And that's why that title to me holds so much weight. And I feel like it doesn't for others in today's world. Like, they don't take it that serious. But I also realized when I got sober that I'm sapiosexual, which I have to...
What does that mean?
Here's the thing. I fucking hate that in today's world. There are a million buzzwords for everything, right? Like, talk to anyone. Every ex is a narcissist, a sociopath. And I'm like, can we stop the fucking... People are people. They fuck up.
That's
They're
literally
human.
the podcast that we put out a few weeks ago. Gabby and I were like, let's talk about our narcissism.
Here's the thing. I think if you want to apply buzzwords, we can absolutely apply them to all of ourselves, and others can from experiences they've had with us. I think it takes the weight away from people who truly have those issues, those mental illnesses that, like, you could think you've experienced that, and then you really experience, and you're like, oh, no, like, that person, that's a sick fuck right there. But I get sober, and I'm finding my way. And there was a minute where I thought I had done permanent damage from all of my years of drinking and drugging, because me knowing how sexual I am, me knowing how freaky I am, all the ways I'm wired that I just know have always been different than others, I was like, I can't fuck people anymore like I did. Why is that? And what I realized is I was raised correctly. I know I have all the things in me that can be bad, but I know overall it's drenched in good, far more than bad. I had finally had clarity and actually could feel for the first time so much that it was like paralyzing. And I realized I can't just go out and do that. And then as I keep learning, sapiosexual is essentially, you could be as beautiful as you are, right? If I met you.
Thank you.
But I could never just be like, if that happened, be like, oh yeah, we're going to fuck, we're going to hook up. It's because no matter how physically attracted to you I am, what gets me sexually attracted to you, what stimulates me is mental, is that connection.
That's what it means.
You're stimulated more so by that mental connection, more so than anything. And especially learning that I'm like that and living here all these years makes it so much harder, because LA is the land of the beautiful people. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck how good looking you are. There's a million of you here. That does nothing. Who are you as a person? And it took me a while to realize, okay, I didn't do permanent damage. I am just that way, because look,
I'm that way too, and that's so interesting. I never knew how that was even a thing, sapiosexual, because I've never been able. I mean, you know me, like if you see me, like I'm always been in a relationship, or if I'm not in a relationship, I'm not really one to just go out there and hook up with people. Yeah, because I don't get anything out of it.
But that's
even if you are like, it's just like,
if you're a very sexual person, right? Which I am, and now I've been in relationships where I have had physical intimacy at levels I've never had before. That far surpasses anything else. To have that experience, know what that is, and go back and have random sex with someone where we've all been, you're not comfortable. Yeah. It's not good. No. You're not feeling in the moment. It's a performance that you're there.
You're in your head more than in the moment.
Why the fuck would I want that after having the other thing? And I just know at this point, after learning more about myself, I'm like, I can't. Like I literally can't. If go down the road of what I was saying about having that attraction to someone physically but not being stimulated, if we started making out, I literally wouldn't get hard. Like there's nothing about me that is turned on by you, because what makes me attracted to someone is when I share all of me, you share all of yourself with me, and I know all of you, and it's really, you're creating that space with someone that's just for you too. So I think that's also age. Like, I'm in my 30s now. Yeah. Like, shit fucking changes. Like it really changes. It's weird. Like, think back to who you were at 25.
I would rather not. I mean, I'm grateful for that person. Yeah. Because it's who I am. It's made me who I am today. But looking back, I'm just like, there's so many things I wish.
What do you think's the biggest difference? Like, when we're talking about like that difference of like just outlook with dating, with hooking up from
a relationship perspective, it's looking for something where it's not more, again, like the physical attraction or what other people think or what it's portrayed to be. And it's actually, okay, are we actually connected on a deeper spiritual level?
Let me ask you this. All the relationships you've been in, right? After my relationship, my ex-fiance, I've asked friends this because of never experiencing it till then. Have you ever been with anyone you've been with, where you have truly 100% been completely honest, open, forthcoming about everything, sexually, yourself, the things that we all think that no one verbalizes or says out loud, because people are programmed to wear that mask to not stick out? Have you ever been with someone and truly been in love enough and felt safe enough to share everything, to the point that you're so safe and comfortable and you don't question it, that you're like, how we're programmed not to do that. You're more so now like, oh no, not now. I got to think of more to give you because I've never had this. Have you ever had that before?
No.
Really?
No. Whenever I was in those relationships, I would have told you yes. Mm-hmm. But now looking back, definitely no. And it stems from, I don't know if it's more so childhood, but obviously my parents, they got divorced young, great parents. But at the same time, I'm also very hard on myself, like performance-based wise. I used to, not so anymore. I always thought I had to put on a persona. I had to be like this type of girl. I needed to say the right thing. And no matter what, like people always would be like, oh, Alex is bitchy, this, that, and the other. And I kind of put a...
Yeah, but I love that about you from the moment I met you. Because I remember you saying that to me. And here's the thing. People are stupid. They don't know how to read a room. You're a strong woman. And the thing I love about that is you don't play the LA bullshit like people do of smiling to someone's face. Like if someone is not for you, you're not allowing them in your energy and space. And you make it known. And I respect that because again, I'd rather have the person who's going to tell me, Joey, you're being a fucking asshole than the person who goes, no, you're fine. It's them. It's not you. And then knife you in the back when you turn around. So don't ever look at that as a negative with you because more people should have that.
Yeah. And I think I've learned over time to not look at that as a negative, but also some things don't need to always be said. Like, I don't always need to give my opinions about things when it's not really needed or I'm not asked.
Do you mean in a general sense or if you're with someone?
In a general sense, more so.
Okay, I agree.
But when it goes back to relationships, I would have told you yes at the time. I think we had a couple of conversations with some of my past relationships, and you were always honest with me.
Yeah.
And even then, when I was talking to different friends and they were telling me different things, it was almost like I was lying to myself.
We've all been there.
Yeah. In some senses. And definitely my last relationship, I knew it was going to fall apart at some point or another. Mm-hmm. And I think I was trying everything to keep it together. Mm-hmm. And so I never wanted to like do anything wrong or say anything wrong. And so that
You're
obviously
walking on eggshells.
Yeah, walking on eggshells. And so, and I guess previous relationships, because I brought that into that relationship and didn't really heal from it. But now I can look back and admit to that and say, whatever relationship I'm in next, that's something that I'm trying to heal, is just being my 100% self and not
I want that
trying.
for you so bad.
Yeah.
Like, again.
I think it's feminine energy too, because I feel like I've always also had to be a very strong, independent, blunt, assertive.
Well, how we talk about being people who have that gift of gab and not being afraid to talk to people, how people think they know everything about you and us knowing the shit. Oh, we got them fooled. They don't. If only they knew. When you talk about being 100% with someone, I want it for you so bad because I know you haven't experienced it like I hadn't previously. So you have an idea of what that is.
Yeah.
But to have someone sit there with you, it's that thing of like if I'm asking you, if we're together and I'm like, honey, what do you want to try? You haven't tried. Everyone who hasn't had that before, in a sense, throw something out there that's a tester, right? You're like, how are they gonna react to this? And if someone reacts negatively, it's like, no, not going down that road again.
Yeah.
To have someone be able to look you in your eyes in an intimate setting and truly make you feel seen, comfortable, safe, understood, to say the craziest shit that's in your head about anything. I want that for you so bad. You deserve that because you are strong, driven, and you've been with people who've been great people. I don't take the approach when people's relationships end, even with my own, that someone's a monster, how everyone does today. I don't shit on my exes. I more so look at, okay, like they're gone. I need to look at myself because I'm stuck with me.
That's how I am too.
And I need to be better with anything I wasn't good with. I think that for you, you're so strong-willed and strong-minded. For a lot of men, I think that's intimidating. I think you need to find the guy who knows how to handle that and isn't threatened by it, because there's no fucking reason to be threatened by it. I've seen you enter a room. People are fucking threatened by it, 100%.
Really?
Yes.
I mean, maybe so, but I think it just comes down to even more so now. I I'm still learning and growing, but since you've met me, like looking back when I was 25 to now, the way that I know myself and who I am, and even like the frequency, the energy that I'm on, now meeting other people, I can feel that out and I can be like, okay, this is a friendship that is at this level because I know that we're not aligned, and that doesn't make them a bad person. That doesn't make me a bad person, but we're just not aligned on that level.
Well, that's growth of living through
life.
Shitty friendships and learning the hard way. Yeah, like I think that makes sense. I mean, the one thing for me, I'm still at a crossroads with that I don't have an answer to. When I reflect on my relationships and I want to be better in the future, is because I was raised to be I'm so loyal. Everyone in my families. That's why I won't commit unless it's like, no, end game. I will fucking hide a body with you in the desert and literally have your back on everything. Like it really is at that level.
It's such a good quality, but
but it sucks because inevitably for me, what's happened is my mother and father have been together since they were teenagers, their entire life. I'm sure now as a 30-year-old man, they have had issues, problems in their marriage. I've never known. No, like I truly grew up thinking, oh, they've never fought once. Like they're right now in Aruba for my mom's birthday. Today's my mom's birthday. Aww. Go 4 times a year. They're each other's best friends. And both my sisters and I tried replicating that with all of our exes of our first love's going to be the one. You know, all of those things. But there's been moments in every relationship I've been in where something has been done from my person that I'm not okay with, that I never come back from. Never. And most people walk away. I don't know how to, because that's not, I truly do believe if I marry someone, right? I don't care if it falls apart the worst any relationship could. You're my wife. I will not divorce you. Like I took an oath under God for the rest of my life. But inevitably, I've never gotten to the point with someone where I've been hurt by them. And for the record, I'm sure they could say I hurt them in similar ways. But from my side, it's, okay, I have been betrayed, my loyalty, my trust, everything. I don't know how to come back from this and just be okay again, because every time we have not. And what you can call it toxic, bad, my trait is because I am wired the way I am to be loyal to someone and love someone. Once that point of no return comes, I start bottling everything up, because I'm programmed to be the pleaser, to take care of you, make everything okay. We're going to get through this, everything. That builds up.
Yeah.
It builds until I literally fucking explode. Yeah. And scream, talk filthy, things that are not me at all. And in my past relationship, how I said I did things right, even when I did things wrong, I was saying to my ex, I'm repeating the past, because I had spent so much time wanting her to know everything I had done, been through, all of my bad things, not the good things, all the bad things. I'm bottling things up. We haven't gotten past things that have happened. I don't know how, and never made it back. So me having the outlook I do with marriage, with loyalty, with everything, I would really love to get to a place with someone where that happens, because inevitably you commit to something, you really commit, shit's going to happen. It's a long life.
Yeah,
people fuck up. We're all human. But I would love to be in that position where if something like that happens, I am with someone who has the same outlook that I do, and I actually learn that you can make it through those things, right? Because I know people who are married and love someone in the marriage cheated, mistakes, and they actually make it back somehow.
Yeah.
I've never been able to do that. And I really would love to have that in the future, because I just know the other thing for myself I need to do when you're talking about knowing what a friendship is, where it is and where it ends. I don't know how to walk away from people that I love. My dad was telling me when I was home, he was like, you're too honest. You can't, you're too honest, you're too loyal. Sometimes you got to know when to walk away.
Are these people helping you or hurting you?
I think it can go both ways. But let's say in not the worst case, in the best case, say they're helping you. You know if someone's not for you for whatever reason.
Yeah.
That
you have to trust your intuition.
That it never fucking lies. And every time you go against it because you see everyone's good, best qualities, in the end, there will come a moment where you are alone at 3 o'clock in the morning and you're going, it's not that I'm just hurt. It's deeper of I allowed myself to look stupid when I knew the whole fucking time of anything with someone. But yeah, I think right now, because I don't know how to walk away, because I need to learn how to do that, it has been that thing of like, I'm not dating. I'm not looking for that. I don't like, it's the 30s thing. I don't know if it's everything from last year that I went through or just where I'm at.
Mixture of both.
Dude,
life experience, age.
I don't want to have sex with anyone. I literally am like, I want to be alone.
I feel like I'm celibate at this point.
Yeah.
I don't think I've had sex in like a year.
But isn't that a great feeling?
I don't really, it's not something I'm thinking of because also I'm just so focused on, the people that are close to me, keeping those friendships solid. Even before, I'm sure you can relate too. You think that you need a whole group of people around you all the time. Yeah. Really, no. I reflected and was like, if I have 5 good friends, it doesn't matter if I talk to them every day, 2 years ago, whatever. If I have like 5 solid friends, I'm good. And I really need to nurture those relationships instead of trying to put all my eggs in so many baskets and trying to fulfill so many people. And that would almost fill the void of focusing on myself.
But while I agree with what we were saying before about people when they get in relationships, yeah, that's all good and dandy. But don't let any of those friends ever make you feel like shit for focusing on yourself or being distant. Because to me, I hate that shit. I'm like, dude, when people are like, oh, you hate me. Oh, you never. I'm like, I just always assume people are busy. People are living. I'm not like, I texted Alex Dry. It's been 3 days. She hasn't texted me back. Wow. Clearly I'm not what I thought I was. Like, no, you're doing things. People take things so personally. And I don't know, man. I think there is something for me, at least at this point in my life, where I'm like, don't get me wrong. I would love to have that intimacy, but I'm still recovering from everything last year. I'm taking my time. And when you talk about that growth, when my first relationship ended with my ex that I moved out here with, and I was using, oh my God, I was out every night. I was fucking
coping.
Everything that moved, living in a state of blackout, now allowed to let my worst tendencies come to light because I didn't have to hide it from someone I'm living with. And with my family, I just don't have to call them.
Right.
And now when this relationship ended, I actually did something I never do. I got into another relationship very quickly, and it wasn't to heal the wound of what I was going through. I am aware how long it takes me to get there with someone. This was a scenario where I had never experienced something with this person like this. And I said to myself, it's like, God is putting this person here. And to me, it's like, I can be so stubborn and set in my ways with how I am that I could fuck up something that's, again, like the circle thing.
Yeah.
Something
That's
different
great.
You don't expect, that's not your wiring and can be great. Allow it to happen. And I did. And it didn't end well. It's okay. I could say the person I was with, truly, it's not lip service, the most amazing human being I've ever met, with the biggest fucking heart. Saved my fucking life last year with everything I was going through. And I will never say a bad word about her. But that was a brand new thing that I'd never done. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to trust God that this is right here like this and go with it. But after all that, man, it's like, I don't like the people when they get single, they need someone. I don't need someone. I never have. I don't want that. I want to be left alone. I want to focus on my career. I want to grind and really sit back and let whatever is meant to be and let it come. Because, like, don't you love, because you're a very smart woman, right? You know a lot. You read people very well. I love when you are like that and you do know so much of how things are going to go and you can call so many things. But when life hits you, it's something you truly never saw coming and you're like, never would have called that in a million years. That's the shit I'm waiting for. I have alarms set for every 5 minutes on every hour of the day.
Why?
Because I have to be, I'm a night owl. So if I crash, I crash. So I need to set 100 alarms if I have to be somewhere on time to make sure I'm up and make it.
So you sleep during the day and you stay up all night?
Most of the time, yeah. I fluctuate. I try to switch it, but like I'm a vampire. I'm nocturnal. I always have been. When everyone goes to sleep, that's when I'm the most alive and I want to work and do all of my things, you know?
When do you sleep? Like from
Well,
10
this
to
morning
2?
I went to sleep at like 8 or 9 a.m., I think.
Oh my gosh, that would stress me out.
But I was up working, so if I'm writing, it's obsession of living on that page and trying to perfect it through all the versions. So inevitably hours will just come and go. But in general, I try to be in bed like 2 or 3 a.m. But I've just always been a night owl. Ever since I was a kid, my parents, it's that thing where you're like, I don't know if that's a good thing or bad thing. I've been so consistently myself my whole life and it's never changed, you know?
Did you know the hours of 2 to 4, I believe, or 2 to 5 is a certain hour where basically it's when all like the monks and like if you're Buddhist, they'll pray, meditate.
I didn't know
and
that.
it's the most holy hour.
What makes
hours
it,
or something.
Do you know the reasoning behind it? Why they? I mean, I agree with it because
I think it's like the oppial hour, but it's basically whenever the.
It just feels like that spiritual thing you hear that you understand as soon as you hear it.
Yeah, because I used to wake up at 2 a.m. every morning, and like 2 or 3, and I always thought that it was, you know, if you hear certain things, they're like, oh, that's the witching hour, like that's evil. And so I used to always think that, and then I started like getting into more like meditation and all of that, and they're like, no, it's actually the opposite. Really? It's just when the like vortex or like whatever is more open, and so you actually connect with other.
I mean, it makes sense.
Frequencies.
Nothing makes me happier than when my phone goes off at 2 or 3 a.m. and I'm talking with someone like intensely back and forth because I'm the most alive and my brain is going. But you know, you even said meditation.
I do have it written down.
What is it?
Okay, so it's the ambrosial hour. It's from 3 to 6 when everything is still soft and a little bit surreal. Some call it the golden hour for the soul. And the reason why is it's the divine hour, a time filled with magic, clarity, and an almost otherworldly energy. In traditions, it's the nectar time. They believe the veil between the physical and the spiritual is the thinnest. Your body is rested, your ego is quiet, and your intention gets louder. That's why so many artists, monks, and deep thinkers choose this time to pray, create, or connect.
Facts. No notes.
This makes sense.
Makes complete sense.
So, yeah. Is that not crazy?
It makes complete sense. Yeah. I mean, that's one of the cool things about moving here is being the way I was wired my whole life, knowing I was very different than everyone who I had known, and meeting people throughout the years who are the same fucking way. I'm like, okay, I'm not as crazy as I thought. Like, people are wired this way when it comes to the arts, when it comes to creativity, and being able to share that with someone was really fucking dope. But here's what I want to ask you. I know we got a few minutes left. What shit do you want to ask me? Like, what's the shit you really want to know that you don't know? So I know you got to maybe get to some things. I want to answer some shit that you throw me on the spot with.
I do have one question, which it's more so just a conspiracy type situation. Okay. So with all of the film industry in Hollywood, and you've been in the industry a long time, have you been exposed to anything of the dark realm?
No.
Or the things that's coming out? I
because maybe I have a sense of humor that's very dark comedy. I immediately think of, I was watching, if you know the comedian Jamie Kennedy with the actor Michael Biehn, love them, and they were talking about the sex parties and the people, and they were like, in our prime, did you get an invite? He's like, no. So he's like, I was fucking handsome. What the fuck? So it's always that thing of like, I guess I'm not fucking good looking enough to be at the secret cult places. Right. But no.
Well, with the reality show and stuff, I feel like, you know, that does open you up to being subjected to that, especially like as a young person, maybe. But
I also
don't know.
do think maybe just because of the side I'm in, I try to make a point to let people know how much I don't take myself seriously with things. Like with my career, I take myself so serious, but so many people that are in the space I'm in of the unscripted, I'm like, get the fuck over yourself. Like, dude, people like you for literally you. You're not God's gift to earth. You haven't perfected a skill set or a craft of talent that takes years and fucking relax.
Yeah.
But yeah, all of my years here, what I could say is pretty similar to what I would say I bet you could agree with, hear all of the things about many people.
Yeah.
And then you talk to like friends and family back home and you're like, dude, and they're like, you're out of your mind. That's not, they're not doing that. And then things come out years later and they're like, okay, you call, like, I remember all of my friends back home, all my boys thought I was gay because I worked at the gay bar. And then I'd go home and I'd tell them things that we all know. And they'd be like, bro, you think everyone's fucking gay? Insert huge star here is not gay. And now years later, it's all but confirmed, if not gay, bi or very open to have fun. But I'm fascinated by this industry as a whole, especially when it comes to the things that happen that no one will ever know and how the mechanics work. Like my mentor, Dan Ireland, who passed away, the greatest human to ever walk the face of this earth. I love that man so much. I remember he was telling me about one of his friends who ran Paramount. And she didn't just do that. She was also in charge of finding the dates for some massive stars who are gay to be able to have sex and not have it come out, and also putting them in those public relationships. And you hear things like that, and most people, again, they watch Ellen, let's say back in the day, and they just believe everything. I'm like, do you not know, like me and you sitting here talking, if this is a national talk show, none of it would be this organic. It's all...
all scripted.
Of course.
And then, I could go on about the Ellen thing. So do you know Twitch?
No. Like the platform?
Twitch, he was a DJ on Ellen's show for a long time. The dancer.
Suicide?
Yes, the one who committed suicide.
Yeah.
I'm not downplaying, maybe he did, but there's been like a lot of things that have come out because the way that the things unfolded is, I mean, me being in the dance industry for so long, I like knew people that were associated with him, and they were posting on their platforms because his wife came out and said, I found drugs and like different things that he may have been doing, or like a journal. Don't quote me on those exact things, but something of the sort. And they were like, honestly, we've known Twitch for years. He would never do any of that. Like, that is not him. And
what's the conspiracy?
The conspiracy is that Twitch was because Ellen was retiring her show.
Yes.
And he left the show a little bit before. And he made his debut that he was leaving, whatever. The conspiracy is that he was going to expose certain things that she was involved in, or maybe people around like Diddy or whoever was involved in. And so they basically killed him.
I mean, I know nothing about the case, so I can't confirm or deny anything that you're saying because I need to research. But what I can tell you for the people watching at home, it is not a joke. It is not bullshit. Like, people hear today, like, everyone does satanic shit, or the term Illuminati has been the most overused, misunderstood term mainstream-wise in the last 10 years. It is an absolute fact. It's not speculation that a great deal of people in this town, in this business, perform ritualistic, fucked up, dark things for whatever reason they're doing it. And it's not a hearsay thing to be a conspiracy theorist. Shit happens.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people who I know who have been to
some of it,
many very exclusive,
that's crazy,
hidden party things, which, as the fan of loving all the gossip of what happens, would love to be a fly on the wall. But like, I'm raised Catholic.
That's what I was going to say. Certain people, I feel like they do have a protection over them. So that's why maybe it's never crossed their path in some sort. I really believe in that.
What do you think in terms of beyond the people just doing it? Let's say you perform some voodoo shit, some ritual shit. Do you believe in the power of whatever spell, whatever they're doing to actually work?
That's a really interesting question because yes and no. I think that there's obviously, for me, I believe in God.
Me as well.
And I think that there's also a evil spirit, whether it's the devil or whatever it is. There's definitely something that's opposite. There has to be.
That's the only way the scale's balanced.
There's sin, like corruption, you know, like God, he came on and he was perfect.
Yeah.
You know? And some, you know, Adam and Eve, there's corruption. So I think that, yes, there is evil things, but if you have, you know, God living within you, then you're able to rebuke those things, or it's not something that's really going to affect you in certain ways. But I think that the devil is at play. Like, he's going to try to tempt you, test you, do different things. I mean, but I think
if you really look into your spirituality, like I'm huge into paranormal, I'm huge. There are spirits that are right here, right now. Like,
oh my gosh, did you see the Tesla?
No.
What?
What happened?
Oh my gosh, Bridget, have you seen this? Or were you not listening?
I've been listening, but I don't know if I've seen the Tesla.
Oh my gosh, it's so crazy. So if you drive, so Tesla cars have the screen.
Yes.
And if someone gets too close to the car, it detects the person.
Yes.
And so they've been driving into cemeteries with Teslas. And it detects people in the cemeteries at certain points. Like, there'll be so many people.
Terrifying.
Oh my gosh, it's so
it's
crazy.
Fascinating, but it's it's
detecting frequencies. So like, it's like,
I don't know how people like. I don't ever look. I hate, like, you can go with politics, you can go with religion. Someone feels differently than I do. Fuck them. They're this. They're that. Like, I've never been that guy, but I really just don't understand people who don't have faith because I feel God every day. Like, you ask me, 100%, I know where I'm going when I die. Like, I don't fear dying. I truly never have. I'm going to be with my family, be with my friends. I just want to be a good person while I'm here. I just can't imagine waking up every day, opening your eyes, looking at the world around you, and not being able to see God, feel faith of, you know, why we're here and where we're going to go. And to take it back to the dark shit, I absolutely believe that you can conjure shit by opening yourself to it. Like, I believe a lot of people, let's say like ghost, spirit shit, will never experience anything because they're not open to it. If you're not open to it, you're not going to allow something in. And if you're calling in malevolent darkness that absolutely exists, I always feel like if you're casting, let's say, some dark ritualistic shit with these groups of people to do something, I believe it absolutely can and will happen, just not in the time frame you probably want and the way you want, over time. Like,
do you think that it can be like, say they're doing it, right? And they're casting this over you.
Yeah.
Do you think that it can affect you?
Yes. And no. I think a lot of times because I've researched a lot of this shit, if you're casting shit to try to harm someone, a lot of shit that I have read in depth says that always is going to come back on you because you are putting something in the realms with ill intent to hurt someone.
Yeah.
But,
karma.
Yeah, I think that
it's hard.
I really absolutely believe there is a mass amount of people who run everything in the world.
Yeah.
And do a lot of really fucked up, dark shit that if you were to say publicly to them would laugh in your face like you're crazy. There has been enough that has come out that is not speculation, that is on film, that people do some weird, crazy shit. And being the guy I am that loves this business, loves Hollywood, you have to be honest about, go back to the beginning of Hollywood. It's been known propaganda, and that's not speculation. Knowing people can be controlled, and you can, like, I'll give you one that's nuts. If I were to make a film in a studio that's an alien film, specifically sci-fi alien invasion film, do you know that the CIA
get involved?
Yeah. to oversee. That's, again, for people watching, that's not conspiracy theory.
True.
This is what happens.
Oh, Bryce and I talked about this.
Did you?
On one of my podcasts, I had Bryce here,
Love
and
Bryce.
we brought you up because
Yeah.
I was telling him one of my conspiracy quote unquote theories is that him being on Too Hot to Handle, you doing The Circle, okay?
Yeah.
Those were filmed a year before or even a little bit longer than they even came out. Then COVID hits, right? So everyone's on lockdown. Then all of those shows come out. You don't think that was all planned out, like very strategically?
I do, but I've never looked at it like that. When I tell people about the success for us on those first seasons, because now what's happened is people go on Netflix shows and they're pissed when they don't get a million followers, everything.
Yeah.
Like I told you when I talked to Raph the first time he brought it up to me, Netflix didn't, I was like, they don't do reality shows. Well, they're about to. We had The Circle January 1st, Love is Blind February 14th, Too Hot to Handle. Like they structured that so fucking perfectly that it boom, 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 and it hit for all of us. Now, they're known for it. It doesn't hit the same way. What I could say with the COVID shit is, again, it's hot water because it's like the political thing. You can't have nuanced thoughts because you're on one side or the other and you're either good or bad depending on whoever you're talking to. I don't care what anyone tells me. You're not going to tell me that the elites of whatever sort you want to call them in weren't able to see that a vast majority of people are so controllable.
You have to normalize it through media. A lot of shows and movies are normalizing things to come.
Well, I believe, like,
but
these types of conversations, right? Like,
do you get scared?
No, I mean, I do feel that thing of dark force evil, like that.
Yeah.
My dad, family, again, like very Italian, like don't put a shoe on the table.
Yeah, don't even bring it. Don't even manifest it.
If I say certain shit, my mother still says, make the sign of the cross. Don't say that word.
Pray to St. Francis.
Of course, like all that shit. But like, I don't know. I think that I hate not being able to converse with people. That's the most difficult thing about the day and age we're living in is, like, let's just say Donald Trump, for example, living in this town. I cannot tell you how many fucking people I know who are so close to me, who know they can say anything to me, and I would never repeat it. I'm going to the grave with everyone's secrets, by the way. I'm that guy for everyone who will sit there at a circle of people, shit on President Trump first term now, and then when they're alone with you, they're like, no, I love him. Don't say that. Look, that sucks. Why can't you feel that way? I don't care if I do not give a fuck if you are Democrat, Republican, that. If you think opposite of me, that's fucking dope.
Then
Wanna know why? Because I can learn and I can see from your perspective. There's no part of me that's going, you fucking piece of shit. You're awful. You think like, who wants to be surrounded by people who just think and feel like they do? To me, I'm like, that's
boring.
You don't get any growth. I mean, but the day and age we live in, you can't do that. And people, it's sort of like the social thing. Someone can sit there, comment on your shit, and be a keyboard warrior and fight with you, say terrible things, would never say that to your face.
Yeah.
You live a different life persona through that keyboard versus this. And I find that really fascinating in good and bad ways.
Yeah, and I think it's such a catch-22 too, because even like with the Hollywood stuff, as much evil and bad that there is, there's also a lot of good. Like phenomenal, one person I look up to that I love in the industry is Jelly Roll.
Yeah.
I think that, oh my gosh, his story, the way he helps people, how he's so bold in his like faith and like what he thinks and his beliefs is amazing to me.
Yeah, but even that, right? Say you don't like his music, anything. This type of person, perfect example. No one's looking at him and not knowing he's a pure soul. You see it with people, right?
Yeah.
Like you just know that they're as pure as they come and just a genuine good human. And that's why in today's world of canceled and headlines and being sued, it makes me so upset how people so quickly get pitchforks for others, where I'm like, first of all, being in this space of being in the public eye of any sort is extremely difficult for anyone. And also, take those same people. Let me talk to your fucking ex-boyfriend, friends, whoever, and learn the shit about you,
Yeah.
of you at your fucking worst that you would never want people to know. We're all human, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I hate that mob mentality thing. I think it's really unfortunate, and I hope that shit changes.
And I think that he does such a great job with that because he's like, look, I've been in jail. I've been an addict. I've done this. I've done that. And I didn't even become really known until my late 30s.
Yeah.
You know, which is so crazy because that's a whole other topic. But
when Eminem's record came out last year, you know, I'm a diehard, I am Stan. I'm that guy. It was even deeper because of everything I was going through in my life. And it all happened. Of course, I'm like, oh God, the universe. I know it's not coincidence. The day I found out the movie was coming out in July from our distributors was the day we had known a record's coming, that it was called The Death of Slim Shady, which I called my partner Josh, and I was freaking out because it's immediately like, again, this film, 12 years of our, and there's a conspiracy theory I have, which I won't go into here because it's in depth, of I am connected to this man in a way that's fucking weird, where when you look at what his previous 5 or 6 records have been, every single one of them has come at a point in my life where one chapter ends, another begins, and inevitably, everyone, my family, friends know, like, I idolize this man, but there will be something on,
like a soul tie or something.
it's like there is just shit that's in all of in those records that I can verbalize and convey of how it exactly tied to where my life is at that moment, exactly for a chapter ending and beginning, and then with the record coming with the movie, and then it's being titled that, like, it just mirrored all of this shit. And it ties back to Jelly Roll, because when a new M record comes out, I'm a psycho. I'm like, do not talk to me. Leave me. Like, I need to go
decipher it
and let this soak in. And God, I can't even bring it up without starting to tear up. That Somebody Save Me, which is the Jelly Roll song, and he's on the hook. Whole record, I'm like, of course, taking in so much, and I'm loving it. And that song comes, and it is that song of, I am right there in my life, in that moment, in that place. I know everything he is saying. And I remember the girl I was telling you I was dating at the time. I have a picture, my last post, when I told you I posted, where everyone was like, oh, you're all fuck. And I was like, no, I'm trying to say I'm not in that anymore. It was from that night when the record released, and I was bawling. And by the way, I cry in everything. I cry in dog commercials. I'm that fucking guy.
I love that.
Everything makes me cry.
I think guys should be a little bit more vulnerable.
Yeah, I don't understand the whole macho. I'm the exact fucking opposite, to the point, like, my friend who's here, Bridget Ryan, was I or was I not showing you clips from Hardball the other night, bawling my fucking eyes out about G Baby. Like,
oh my gosh, that's a classic.
It is, yeah. But those pictures, I remember I gave her my phone and I was like, please just take pictures of me right now. She's like, why? I'm like, because I feel this moment so fucking deeply, and I don't want to ever forget this. And I'm so happy I did that, because again, it's one of those things where something connects to your soul on such a deep level that you can't even convey to someone for where you are at. And that's what got me into Jelly Roll and learning his story and whatnot. But yeah, he's a phenomenal artist.
Yeah, that's cool. I love him. And Eminem.
It's the GOAT.
Well, again, like conspiracies, but I heard that
he's not a clone.
No, obviously not.
I was going to say, not that one.
I don't really know the whole clone thing. I'm like iffy about, to be honest, but that he is so deeply like uninvolved with everything that went on here as like the P. Diddy parties and all of that he was almost against it, him and 50 Cent.
100%.
And that's why he, lives where he does. He has like people protecting him. There's like a whole thing around it. And
it's true.
so
I mean, it's simple though. I mean, look, on a smaller scale, me and you have been at how many parties together? Do we or do we all not as friends sit there and gossip about everyone who's there, who's in their cliques that they're in, and everyone knows or talks and speculates about the things we hear that people do and are into. And we gravitate towards each other, our group.
Yeah. But even you saying that, it just is so crazy to me thinking that, because now looking back, the going out scene, even going to parties, going to clubs, it's literally people standing around judging each other. It's no one's having genuine fun. I don't enjoy it. I'm a homebody, again, since I got sober. Yeah, I genuinely enjoy being home when I'm out at those events. It's not because I'm sober and I'm worried
if I'm in a place where I know I could use, like last year, you're not seeing me anywhere because if I'm in a space where I can, I probably will. But in general, I just don't enjoy. Like, I don't enjoy it.
Yeah.
I don't like that thing of like guys, older guys, third, whatever, dating younger girls. Never been into that. Like, I just see like be the most beautiful girl in the world. I'm like, you're 20s. You're in your 20s. I'm not there.
Yeah.
You know, I don't go to a club and I'm like, fuck, this is lit. This is, if anything, that's when my writer brain and everything is so stimulated because I'm people watching and taking in so much shit. Yeah, but okay. Hit me with your next, like, what do you want to know? Like, hit me with something that you really want to know, Alex Dry.
Oh, I mean, there was a lot of questions for you about, was the relationship with Carousel fake?
So with the relationship with Carousel, people will always ask. What I can say is it's not what people have made it out to be, but it's hard for me to go into that, especially for the fact of, again, the world we are in today. Everyone will immediately throw someone under the bus and say things. I am that dude where it's a weird space to be in because you're signing up to go into opening your life up, being on camera for the world to see, but I'm equally as private. So it's like, okay, when I'm in that space, have at it. You have access to everything with me, and I won't. I'm the guy who will be stupidly open like I should not be. When that's over, it's over. And with her, what I can say is everything that happened with that situation, because there was good and very bad. She's one of the only people I've ever been with who had the same outlook as me, which is I'll tell you to go fuck yourself to your face, but I'll never let anyone say that about you. And we both have kept it that way.
I love that.
And that's why I don't speak on it, where I'm like, look, there is also the part of me, I got to be real, where I'm like, I love that people think that. Let them talk.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, the more
y'all are still talking about it years later.
And you're going to look for an answer that you're not going to get. Because I don't know. That's that old school thing of like, I have absolutely hurt my career by being sort of a kid trapped in the 70s in a modern day life, because I grew up idolizing filmmakers, actors, and I was so enthralled by them and seeked out everything they've done performance-wise because we knew nothing about them. And you respect them. And then the Mind movie, you want to know, how are they this good? But who are they? Yeah. That's gone today because you have to know everything about someone. So my manager, since day one, has fought with me about, being an influencer. And I'm like, bro, irony of my life is I know nothing about fucking social media, never did, and want to show about social media being an influence. I don't know how to fucking do that, but it's hard because you have to be open. I get that. You either adapt or die in a lot of scenarios, but I think you can hold things that make you unique and different and make it your own and have it still apply without hurting yourself. But like, dude, I can go on for hours. I have absolutely fucked myself career-wise with where I could be based on things I haven't done and won't do. There are a lot of people I have dated, I have been with, who a lot of people would know. I don't say that. I'm not the guy who
is out here
calling paparazzi, like, again, even shit like that. People, it makes me so incensed they don't understand it. I'm like, okay, say you see insert massive star here on TMZ at Starbucks being interviewed about anything. Most people don't even think about it until I start saying to them, okay, how many Starbucks, you're in New York City. How many Starbucks exist in New York City? How many Starbucks exist in LA? Oh, let's say 10,000, 20,000. Yeah. What are the fucking odds?
They're there.
They're there at that time to ask them. You really think they're like, we need to fucking send 100 people out if they're there at this time? No, you call your reps. They call their people.
Unless you're like Justin Bieber.
Yeah.
Which honestly, God bless him right now.
Look, that's why I laugh when it makes me cringe so hard.
It makes me
people have asked me like,
so sad
you're a celebrity, you're famous. I'm like, Eminem's a celebrity. Leonardo DiCaprio is a celebrity. I'm Joey from Rochester. That's all I have ever been.
Yeah, but they would probably say the same thing about themselves if you asked Eminem.
You would hope so. But it's like the thing of like a girl who says how hot she is. And I'm like, ugh.
Yeah. Like, please
shut up. Yeah. Like, ugh. Yeah. I don't know.
Depending on the person, I guess.
I just don't know. Like, I have friends who are very well known who play that game expertly. I would never. I understand at a certain point you have to play the game in ways. You just have to. If you're chasing fame, which God's honest truth, I have never wanted. I have never looked for that. I thought I would be a fucking character actor who got to make my own shit and could make a living. Never, like, I just don't get that thing of I want to be famous. I want to make shit that people love and inspire. Like, if I could sit there and talk film with you, that's my fucking lane. To have my name in clickbait articles about leaving so-and-so's apartment or house, or that I'm fucking or dating, like that to me is so uncomfortable. I'm like, no, I don't want that.
But I think that's also why people do love you. Or like that's, on The Circle, people were, you're a fan favorite. So I think that's why.
I really am that deep intellectual. Like that's how my brain works. And I love asking people, how do you perceive me? Like, actually, not telling me you're great, like, because when people get comfortable with you, it's fascinating the shit people will tell you. Like, I've heard so many times, I thought you were a fucking dick. Like, you have resting bitch, but then you meet you and you're like, so lovely. Like, I was telling a friend last night, I have a friend who's in the Netflix world, and she told me recently, after us becoming close over like 2 years, now that we're this close, I can actually be real with you. I thought you were so full of shit for like a long time. And I was like, again, I'm not the guy who's like, I'm like, no, tell me more. I want to know. This is interesting. And she was like, because you're so happy, loving, genuine about helping your friends and loving seeing people win, I thought that was part of your act, your brand, until now I've gotten this close with you. And she's like, no. Like she's like, you're one of the only people I've ever met in this game who genuinely feels happiness when one of your friends wins.
Yeah. Which is...
And isn't faking it. But I'm like, how do people not? Like, dude. Yeah. I was a fighter my entire life, right? Boxer. Set the foundation for everything I've ever accomplished in my life and everything that's got me back on track. God is my witness. I mean this with everything in me. I am only in competition with myself. I know what I'm capable of. I know what I can do. When one of my friends wins, we all fucking win, dude. Like, I moved here loving this game, not knowing a fucking person in the world, 1 month after graduating high school going, here we go. Yeah. When I see my people win, I'm like, yes, bitch. Like, this is what we all live for.
We're finishing out. Yeah. Yeah, cool. Okay.
So it's one of those things where I don't know why people aren't that way, because in this town especially, people will smile at you and congratulate you, and they don't want anything good for you. And that's like really sickening to me.
Yeah. And it's so sad too. But I think also, I mean, as long as I've known you, like, what you see is what you get.
Yeah.
And also that's the thing of, that's why people love you, but the right people are going to gravitate towards you because they see that genuine.
Well, I mean, again, this is sort of like us blowing ourselves, but it's like we're still friends to this day. Yeah. Because of that. Like, my ex-girlfriend had said she knew I was a good human, actually, because of the fact of, she was like, I looked at all of your people, my people that are my real ride or dies, and they're all great people. And I never thought of that. It's like people talk about LA sucking. Yeah, it does. People are awful. All of my people are great. I meet the great ones, and I'm happy for it. So it's like, nah, I'm good. Yeah.
That's one thing that people kept telling me is the people that you surround yourself with isn't aligned with what you put out there. Mm-hmm. And so I think that's a lot of, in the last like year, 2 years, a lot of change that
I'm just so happy we were able to fucking do this.
I know.
Like, it's made me so happy.
I know. I literally have like all these like questions people ask, but we can get into it another time.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of our conversations are like high thoughts, but sober. Yeah. Talking about shit, like really deep. But
really deep.
I was so happy when you asked me to do this, just because I love you to death. You're one of my favorite people, and the fact that you're doing so well,
thank you,
makes me really happy.
You too. We have so much more to catch up on, but I'm glad that everything from last year and everything you went through, you came out of. But also it's like, obviously a growing experience, but it relates to so many people to realize, one, humanizes you. Yeah. Two, to know that they're not alone. Yeah. And whether you're struggling with depression, addiction, like you can get through it.
Yeah, man. I mean, look, that's why I had to get to that point of fuck the privacy, put it out there, because those people who did that saved my life. If anyone going through some shit right now is in that hole mentally and stuck and can hear anything I'm saying and know that's what they're going through, I got through it. So can you. It's really corny and cliche. One day at a time.
Yeah, one day at a time.
That's it.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for watching this entry of the Dry Diaries. Thank you, Joey, for coming on.
Love you, Alex Dry.
You're the best. We will see you next week. Bye.
Peace.
Alex Dry.